This morning, I am announcing that I have engaged legal counsel. We are preparing a lawsuit against the Kamala Harris campaign due to a defamatory statement posted on X, which is extreme, egregious, and I just got to say outright psychotic in accusing me personally, as well as Laura Loomer, but we are two separate individuals, of calling for unchecked legal power so that they, meaning Trump and his allies, can jail and execute anyone who doesn't support Trump if he wins, which is a shocking and egregious lie that goes so far beyond the pale. I just can't even. It's shocking and downright insane. This, of course, this tweet came over the weekend, Labor Day. Immediately, I contacted my legal team and furious. My family is furious. The tweet in question refers to me as a Trump operative. I do not work for the Trump campaign. I've never received any money from the Trump campaign or Trump PACs. We have received no outside investment for this show, for anything related to Timcast Media Group. We received no outside investment. It's all been funded from the ground up, from the start of my original podcast, youtube.com/Timcast, as well as my personal savings. The tweet goes on to say that I have a Project 2025 plan. I am in no way associated with Project 2025, though I've interviewed some of the people who are associated with Project 2025 and have been involved. Timcast has not, and will not be a part of or in any way related to Project 2025. Nor have I ever called for anyone to have unchecked legal authority. And I will stress this because this is the most shockingly offensive part of what they said. And I'm jumping right to it right away so I don't waste your time because I have a lot to talk about. I am opposed to the death penalty in all circumstances. I have argued against the death penalty in every circumstance. I do not trust the government to decide who gets to live and die, and I will never support the death penalty or any type of executions. For that matter, the clip in question posted by the Kamala campaign was literally me arguing against the idea of the death penalty, telling Laura Loomer that she was wrong. These individuals did not commit treason, more likely sedition, but there is a lot to break down in exactly what this post is. And so I just wanted to make sure I started immediately by addressing what we are doing. So I will stress one more time. I have engaged legal counsel. There's only so much you can do over Labor Day weekend. Had it been during the week, we would have probably filed in the immediate, but hopefully by today, I can give you an update. My intention is to immediately file a lawsuit and approach every legally correct avenue to do that. And so I will stress one more time. So far, I've contacted my legal counsel. We have discussed the issue at length. We intend to file a lawsuit. The reason why I say intend is I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a lawyer myself. All I can do is inform you that we have begun this process, and I fully intend to see it taken to this degree. And so I'm going to break down the structure of what happened with the Harris campaign in greater detail. But I will say this before we get started, as I often do. Head over to castbrew.com, buy our coffee. More importantly, excuse me, head over to timcast.com, click join us, become a member. We need your support now more than ever. As always with these issues, let me say it this way. James O'Keefe discusses how when he is challenged and he goes to court, these cases can cost millions of dollars. Okay, well, we need your support now more than ever. Go to timcast.com, click join us, become a member. If you support us, our work and all these endeavors, we're going to be paying our lawyers, and what it costs is what it costs. And so I suppose I can only say we'll see where this goes. We are about 2 months out from the election. And I will say this as we get started. I feel that the lies from the Kamala campaign have become so shockingly egregious. They strike at the conscience of any good, rational American. Right now, we have a story where in Philadelphia, ads are emerging on bus stops saying that Kamala is the official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's a link that goes to the Eagles website. Excuse me. Now, the Eagles have denied that. They say this is not their ad campaign. It's fraudulent. Now, I don't know who put those ads up. I am not saying it was the Kamala campaign. I am saying the lies have become extreme. You know, I was traveling for Labor Day weekend, and I was looking at all these old buildings because, you know, we're on the East Coast. So we've got quite a bit of old buildings, especially out here in West Virginia and Western Maryland. But you go to the Northeast, you see a lot of buildings have placards about when they were first built, these homes, going back to the 1700s even. Bricks laid in the ground, marked with the year that they were made. And I wondered, where has honor gone? Well, my friends, we are in a low trust society. This is where you see crime skyrocket. And it's not so much just about low trust that people don't care at all about the lives of others around them. But I wondered why it was that we claimed to have more honor, why we believe that to be the case. Smaller population. That's really it. If you were considered a dishonorable person, you were known to everyone. There were fewer people. And so if you were dishonorable, a liar, a cheater, a thief, people would not want to work with you. They didn't trust you. How would you survive? So trust was important. Maintaining honor was important. I take a look at this political cycle and I wonder why it is we are seeing such extreme and egregious lies coming from the Kamala Harris campaign, which I'll go through a bit in detail. The game is no longer about being a cohesive community. It is simply about riling up enough people who hate enough other people. That's it. You know, you go way back in time and everybody knows each other. We still end up in a civil war. As population grows, it becomes harder and harder for human beings to know and understand each other, especially with the internet. And then nobody really cares, to be honest, because they can find means of generating resources through the soulless machine state that we currently live in. I don't have all the answers. What I can tell you is this. Certainly there are detractors online insulting and telling me I'm crazy or that the suit is a ridiculous idea. I can just tell you this. I've talked to my lawyers, several in fact, and I will state, regardless, these types of statements cannot stand. These types of lies cannot stand. Our country is at risk of collapsing. If this is the state of decay it is in and it persists, there needs to come a point where people say, stop. Now, I don't know what the judges will think. We've certainly heard some arguments, and I've had these discussions again with legal counsel. We don't know. What I will say is, at a certain point, there has to be some type of accountability for the extreme and egregious lies. Now, as a country with a First Amendment, we tolerate lies. We do. But within reason, meaning the reason why we tolerate lies is because we often don't know if someone is accidentally saying something incorrect. And the fear with many of these rulings we've seen in such, say, Times v. Sullivan as it pertains to defamation, is that were we to not have free speech protections from civil engagements, lawsuits, well, then everyone would just sue everyone and only the wealthiest would be able to speak freely. So we do have some tolerance. But there is a limit. There is a limit. Let me jump into the story and explain to you where we're currently at and what's going on. First, by reading a tweet from Colin Rugg. Colin Rugg on X, co-owner of Trending Politics, says, Justin, Tim Pool is threatening to take legal action against the Harris campaign for threatening his safety. I will pause there and say it's for defamation, extreme reputational damage, my safety included, but there's a lot of factors to this we can get into. The incident came after Kamala HQ, the Harris's campaign X account, which is notorious for sharing misinformation, shared yet another blatant lie, saying, quote, Trump operatives say their Project 2025 plan is to give Trump total unchecked legal power so they can jail and execute those who don't support Trump if he win. The Post read, Pool is not a Trump operative, has nothing to do with Project 2025, and has never said anything about executing those who don't support Trump. Quote, Kamala Harris is personally trying to get me and Laura Loomer murdered with an egregious lie. I will not stand for this outright fabrication. I've engaged legal counsel. We're preparing to take action. More to come. So here's the tweet that I posted stating just this. I have this. Let me see. I can pull this story up from Raw Story. Trump allies claim Kamala Harris is personally trying to get them murdered. Kamala Harris oversees her campaign. She is in charge. I don't think it makes any sense to argue there is anyone else that is overseeing what her campaign is. That would be silly. She is in charge. The buck stops with her. Now, the tweet in question here goes on to say that they have since scrubbed this video from YouTube. They. Operatives, plural. Okay. Now, I will stress for everybody. When it comes to matters of law, of course, we know in most circumstances, 99%, many people involved will understand you can't discuss these things. You don't discuss it. But unfortunately for me, this overlaps with my work, and I have no choice but to issue an immediate rebuttal at first opportunity due to this being a threat to our show, to my personal safety, to the safety of my staff, to my friends and family. It is shockingly beyond irresponsible. It is malicious and negligent to claim that I have called for the execution of people who don't support Trump. That is psychotic. Not only have I challenged the death penalty on hundreds of my show at every opportunity I have, to claim that I would call for political executions is just so shockingly egregious. To accuse me of criminal and extremist ideology and actions is just absolutely insane and cannot be tolerated. Cannot be tolerated in the least bit. But I will play for you the clip. The 1 minute out of context clip that currently has 11.5 million views and growing. I will play for you the clip so you can hear it, and then I will break down exactly how this story emerges and provide you the full context. Should Democrats be in jail? No question. When Donald Trump gets elected, should he start locking them up? No question. Should there be lists of Democrats that need to go to jail? 100%. And the reason for that is they've committed crimes. Yeah. We need to make sure that when Donald Trump wins, we've got an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, a head of the CIA and the FBI. Kash Patel would be fantastic. We can have attorney general. There's some names floating around. And then they can start having their investigators and the feds issuing subpoenas, pulling up evidence, and with real evidence, bring them to judges for warrants. Then these people can spend three years of their lives fighting tooth and nail for the crime against the government for crimes they committed, and we can prove. Yeah. And the reason why we put them on trial is that we can show the whole world we will uncover what you've done. We will make sure everyone knows, and you will be held accountable for it.
Not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
And the show ends. Now, I'll address this. They have since scrubbed the video from YouTube. Indeed. The video, the full show exists on iTunes, Spotify, Rumble, and all other podcast platforms. The show was scrubbed because I don't agree with Laura Loomer. Now, there's an interesting point to be made, especially. I can't speak for Loomer. What I can say is Laura Loomer in the show, in this clip, did not call for Trump to bring on authorities, to arrest people, or do anything like that. She simply added that the penalty for treason is death. And the reason why the show was scrubbed is that I personally do not appreciate that rhetoric. We don't allow that on our show. It goes too far, in my opinion. We went on to carry on the show on other platforms. YouTube also has a rule against it. And where I went on to explain specifically, I don't believe any of these people have committed treason. I believe it is sedition. And who are these people that are being referred to? Well, there is a full context to this indeed. And that is from the Bulwark, May 31st, 2024, quote, I want to see lists of which Democrats are going to prison. In the wake of Trump's conviction, Republicans are having a normal one. They make a reference to Sean Davis from the Federalist, who said, in 2024, I want to see lists of which Democrat officials are going to be put in prison. This is what happens when you cross the Rubicon. He went on. Biden and Garland should be indicted in Texas tomorrow for their ongoing criminal human trafficking conspiracy across the border and into the state of Texas in direct contravention of state law. The Daily Wire's Matt Walsh was thinking on a similar track. Donald Trump should make and publish a list of 10 high-ranking Democrat criminals who he will have arrested when he takes office. First on the list should be Joe Biden. Second should be Joe's crackhead son. In response to this story, I actually issued what I would describe as somewhat of a pullback from those stances. My point literally being in the full context, even within the context of that clip, me saying investigations, real evidence, warrants, The full context of what I'm saying is, if Sean Davis, Matt Walsh, or any other Democrat is going to advocate for the arrest of any Democrat officials, there has to be actual evidence of a crime committed with a real investigation with a warrant. Quite literally the opposite of what the Kamala Harris campaign has stated. I will stress this again. The point I was making was inverse. We will not tolerate a Trump administration that goes and arrests random people. We will not tolerate a Trump administration that has unchecked legal authority. And we will not tolerate a Trump administration that would try to claim treason on his political opponents. In fact, Donald Trump said this in reference to questions about the arrest of Hillary Clinton in 2016, which he did not do. He says, did I want to be the man who arrested the wife of a former president? No, I did not. My point is clear. If you're going to arrest someone, there has to be real evidence. Additionally, there are individuals who are democratically aligned, which have committed crimes, and we know. For instance, Joe Biden himself in the documents case. Jack Smith, special counsel, is currently filing an appeal to have Donald Trump charged in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. Now, this matters because Joe Biden was also found to have many different sets of classified documents in which news reports stated his intention was to make money off of producing a book. The recording from his ghostwriter was deleted after he heard Joe Biden say such a thing. Joe Biden did commit this crime. They are pursuing Donald Trump for this crime. There is a Democrat who should be investigated. There should be real evidence. There should be a warrant. Now we can move on to Burisma, Hunter Biden, and other associates. We also know that there were FBI lawyers, Democrat aligned, who have already been criminally charged. And this is the point. Do these people... So when they say there's a list of people, and I say, should Democrats be arrested? In context of a list of Democrat officials, 10 high-ranking officials? Yes. We know some of them are. Some of them have been accused of crimes, and certain crimes have not been pursued. As of right now, Merrick Garland, for instance, is in contempt of Congress and faces no legal accountability. These people should face the true structure of the law. Now, I'll tell you, a couple weeks following this, Bannon vows Trump's opponents will be prosecuted in the second term. Let me tell you, my friends, the point is we are right now in a country without legal accountability. Donald Trump is being criminally charged and arrested for crimes by which we just look at the classified documents case. Joe Biden is not, which is inequality in the law. My point is and always been that we must have equality under the law, and that if Trump is to be investigated and charged for this, Joe Biden must be as well. We cannot play these games where we say Joe Biden is an old man with a poor memory who could not be convicted. We have Merrick Garland. So long as Steve Bannon is in prison, Peter Navarro went to prison for contempt of Congress, there is no excuse for Merrick Garland to not be in jail for contempt of Congress. But we have inequality in the law. And that's my point. Now, I will tell you, since the statement made by the Harris campaign, I have been inundated with, let's just say it. I'll keep it vague because I can't say too much. I can say as much as I can, but I can't say too much. Inundated with messages, not good ones. Friends and family are deeply upset, shocked, livid, outright. And this presents a challenge for us as we pursue booking these Democrats, as we always do. And some come on. We had RFK Jr. on at the time, who now is with Trump, but at the time was not. Marianne Williamson came on the show not too long ago. And we have many prominent liberal and Democrat personalities who join us, though infrequently. It is a challenge. It is important to explain all this. Now, breaking down the official position, what I can say is, again, you can watch the full show and see that the statements made, I'll stress again, I am not a Trump operative. I have received no money ever from the Trump campaign, from Trump associates, anything related to his political endeavors or business. I don't work with the Trumps. 0, 0, 0. There may be super chats and donations from people, I guess. I don't know. But there's never been an instance where I've received a check. My business has never received any investment. We've received zero investment, period, let alone to say from anyone related to Trump. This company This show right now is fully funded off of starting with my personal savings into the revenue that we generated and expanding, and then with you as members. So I will stress, there has been no, you got to be careful here. It's possible someone who works for Trump or whatever is a member of the website or something like that, I guess. But this business is fully independent, and we sell memberships. We sell memberships, we pay our taxes, we do all that good stuff. A lot of people want to make claims that we're, so we're not in any way operatives of Trump. In fact, just last week, Friday, I called for an investigation into Donald Trump. One of the first actions he took was signing off on a commando raid in Yemen, which allegedly resulted in the death of an 8-year-old American girl. I said, Trump gets no special favors from me, and he should be criminally investigated for this. Barack Obama killed Abdurrahman al-Awlaki, a 16-year-old American citizen, and we know that to be a fact. They've admitted it. It's been reported by the New York Times, and they said it was an accident. I believe there should be a criminal investigation as well. Both require impeachment, and I've long complained. They go after Donald Trump for what? Documents? Yet we have real issues with foreign policy that we go after any one of these presidents. Trump, Clinton, Bush, doesn't matter. Obama, all of them. And yet they would still make these lies, push these lies. So we won't stand for it. To say, the Project 2025 thing is also shockingly insane because that's a veritable organization. I have nothing to do with Project 2025. I have no Project 2025 plans. I have literally nothing to do with the Heritage Foundation. This is absolutely insane. But again, to state that I'm calling for any effort ever at unchecked legal power, when in the clip itself, I say real evidence, investigations, and warrants. Absolutely insane. I won't stand for it. So again, I will just give you the breakdown. First thing, I contacted my lawyers, plural, and we engaged in quite a bit of discussion. And the process is begun as much as you can over the weekend. And I fully intend to file a lawsuit against Kamala Harris and her campaign for these statements. I won't stand for it. There have been a lot of things in the past where members of Congress and other things have been said, and the media lies, and there's always deep, deep challenges in how do we deal with this. But I will say this, my friends. This country can't survive this way. We cannot live, we cannot function, we cannot grow, we cannot survive in a system where powerful media interests are fabricating stories every single day to an extreme degree. Now, I've had people say that I should sue over Wikipedia. I've made the point about Wikipedia. My argument is that they are not subject to Section 230 protections because Wikipedia says all of their articles say from Wikipedia, they accept the byline. This front-facing image right here, speech and debate clause, which I have pulled up, referring to members of Congress on the floor. It says from Wikipedia. It does not say it was written by any random users. I believe that there is a case there. Now, some people have asked me, why don't you sue Wikipedia? My Wikipedia entry is not egregious. It's not bad. Others, really bad. Not mine. However, I will tell you this. To hear this news, to get these tweets was terrifying. It was shocking. And I immediately had to deal with the fallout and aftermath following the post from the Harris campaign. We are taking action. We're going to spend what we got to spend. We got to do what we got to do. Go to Timcast.com, click join us, become a member if you'd like to support us in our efforts. But I'll add this on the back end of this story, and I'll tell you exactly why we cannot survive this way. Fake ads in Philly falsely claim the Eagles are endorsing Kamala Harris. Now, look, I don't know who put up these ads. I'm not sure anybody does. They say representatives from the Philadelphia Eagles said they are working to crack down on counterfeit political ads that have appeared around town. Something is broken here. The Eagles said we are aware counterfeit political ads are being circulated and are working with our advertising partner to have them removed. How could this be the case? In this instance, we have a video. Watch Tenet now on X. A Philadelphia Eagles fan covers the ads endorsing Kamala Harris with copies of the team's statement that slammed them as counterfeit. Did Kamala's team think no one would notice? Well, I don't know that Kamala's team had anything to do with these advertisements. Maybe, maybe not. I'd lean towards no. I'd imagine it's probably some political action group. But hold on. These are city bus ads. These are bus stops. Someone knows who paid for these ads. They put up images. I don't know if we maybe have the image here. So there's let's see if we can play this.
Well, have you seen it?
Well, actually, let me play this for you. You can hear what the local news reported.
Well, have you seen it? This artwork is grabbing the attention of the city of Philadelphia. These ads show an illustration of Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris wearing an Eagles helmet with what looks like an endorsement from the Eagles.
Now, the problem, these ads are fake, illegal, and in no way affiliated with the team.
Illegal.
This one of the at least 6 ads spotted around Philadelphia. This ad in University City was covered up by copies of the Eagles statement on social media saying the ads are counterfeit. NBC 10's Aaron Baskerville has the story tonight.
On the ad itself, the news team shows you when they pull up the images of it, there's a URL. The URL brings you to the Philadelphia Eagles website, philadelphiaeagles.com/vote. When you go here, it says a fan of voting, text Eagles. They talk about how to register to vote, the voting visual schedule, primary voting, voter ID assistance. I believe that the Eagles likely had this as an initiative for voting. Someone put up fake ads tricking people into thinking that the Eagles were supporting Kamala Harris. We as a nation can't survive this way. We can't. Absolutely cannot. I don't know where this goes, and I don't see it improving. I got to be honest. I will tell you that in defamation law, it is insane to me. I'll make a few points about the generalities of defamation law. You have anti-SLAPP legislation. I don't completely disagree with. You have Times v. Sullivan. I also completely don't disagree with. But what I do disagree with is that there should still be a simple small claims remedy for defamation. So in the instance of anti-SLAPP, this is referred to literally strategic lawsuits against public participation. Anti-SLAPP, the intention is powerful interests that don't want to be criticized by the media or just their critics in general will pay exorbitant fees to lawyers to bury a critic so they cannot criticize them. Anti-SLAPP intends to stop that. I think this is actually a good thing because it allows journalists to challenge the powers that be. Then you also have the Times v. Sullivan precedent stating that you have to prove what's called actual malice or a reckless disregard for the truth. Actual malice does not mean ill intent or mean or evil. It means you knew what you were saying was false. Getting to that point is extremely difficult. And this, we'll break this down. Reckless disregard for the truth is also difficult to prove, but there is something else called defamation per se. Defamation per se are statements that are so shockingly egregious that they are said to be instantly damaging to an individual's reputation, so much so that damages are not required. When it comes to defamation, you have to prove damages. Defamation per se is accusing someone of crimes, of extremists, positions. The example they like to give is, try to be careful. I'm not a lawyer, but accusing someone of having an infectious disease, accusing someone of advocating for extreme criminal actions or engaging in extreme criminal actions, and other statements. Saying defamation is usually like if you were to say, so-and-so kicked a dog. And the way it would work with Times v. Sullivan, let's say you're a news outlet accused John Doe, of kicking a dog. John Doe says that's insane. Files a defamation suit. Assuming John Doe is a public figure, the courts are going to say, you got to prove that they knew they were lying. This often just gets thrown right out. Well, how do you prove they were lying without getting discovery? Discovery is when you can request communications from internally and documents pertaining to the story around the individual in question. Sometimes this discovery, which includes testimony, depositions, can result in someone showing an email being like, yeah, we know he didn't really do it, but let's publish the story anyway, and then you can prove it, and then you can move on. Let me say this. This country needs new precedent. And I believe the precedent should be simple. I believe that there should be, in the instance that someone posts something defamatory and the aggrieved party files a lawsuit, because anybody can, and anybody, like even with anti-SLAPP, You still have to pay a lawyer to defend yourself against these claims, even with anti-SLAPP. What should happen, in my opinion, is I respect and appreciate anti-SLAPP. I do. The idea of everyone just suing everybody into oblivion just doesn't make sense, and only the rich people being able to talk makes no sense. So, and Times v. Sullivan, I also agree with because, to a certain extent. What I don't agree with, if an organization posts something that's defamatory by accident, there should still be relief in the courts where should the defendant and the judge, should the judge agree the statements made were false, he orders the organization to retract and apologize. That's simple. I don't see why that's not the case. Let's say that John Doe is accused of kicking a dog. He sues the newspaper. They go to court. He says discovery. Okay, you get past a motion to dismiss. The judge says, look, you accuse this guy of kicking a dog. I mean, that's serious. What was your basis for this? They show a bunch of stories, pictures, and it does seem like John Doe may have kicked a dog, but he didn't. He did not. The evidence just wasn't that good. The news organization says, look, we genuinely believe this to be true. We had seen reports. We had witness testimony. And then video emerges presented by the defendant saying, this proves I never kicked a dog. It should be simple. The judge should say there is no actual malice. The organization was acting in good faith and they made a mistake. However, we should not allow a false statement to stand that defames the individual and harms their reputation. No penalty, no financial damages. The judge simply says, news organization, you are hereby ordered to retract that statement. You are hereby, and maybe you do a jury, I don't know, whatever, I don't care. The thing that's shocking about this is there are numerous instances, plethora, where we know for a fact the media has lied, that they are wrong. I shouldn't say lie. Let's say stories where the media is wrong about what they said. And there is no remedy, despite the fact there is evidence proving what they said was not true. Now, if you want to make the argument you can't sue them and take money from them because they didn't know what they were saying was false, fine. But how is it the precedent? The precedent should be the news organization saying we did not realize what we said was wrong. We were operating in good faith. We apologize. The judge should then say you have 48 hours to remove the defamatory statements, issue an apology, and publish it on your front page. Correct the record. You admit it, right? That's the least anyone could do. I'm sure there's arguments about the cost of a front page statement or whatever. But if you made a mistake, that's the least, right? Well, here in this country, we don't have that. The UK is a bit different. We don't have that. So I got to tell you, it's gone too far. This has gone too far, okay? The reason why I pulled up the speech and debate clause is because July 13th, 2022, I published this, my op-ed was published in Newsweek. The January 6th committee misrepresented me. Jamie Raskin claims in a video that I was part of a group of right-wing YouTubers who promoted January 6th. Promoted. You see the weasel words they use. It was a clip of me reading an article from Fox News where it said Trump calls for protests. And I said, wow, there's probably going to be crazy protests. That was it. While other people in the clips were saying red wedding and kick the door and things as such, I never said anything like that. In fact, in this article, I point out, I have long stated violence does not work. It is I pointed out that Antifa's violence had gone a long way to erasing Black Lives Matter's PR gains earlier in 2020. Their gains were through the roof. They had a massive net positive. Then violent riots happened. Violence does not work. Building culture, building confidence does. So I will wrap up this opening by saying this one more time. Legal counsel has been engaged. That is a reference. Engaged is a legal term. The process has begun. We are preparing the paperwork to file, and the intention is to file a lawsuit immediately, as quickly as we can. And there's a lot more to this that I cannot discuss. In respect of the courts, the people who will to be involved, I will keep it as informative, but still hold back quite a bit for respect to the courts. What I will say is, as much as I prefer in the legal matters that we have dealt with, and I have dealt with them, I do not discuss them. This accusation against me, this lie, I mean, it wasn't even an accusation. It was a statement, a false statement of fact in the extreme. And I cannot express I don't know if there's anything more extreme than to claim a person is calling for executing individuals. This is just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. The only option I had was to come out at first opportunity and denounce, reject, push back on this in the most extreme way possible. So that's all I could do for now. Next, we'll be seeking relief from the courts. I am beyond offended. This is insane. The repercussions are already insane on our end. This is the Democratic Party, the largest political party in the country, candidate for the presidency who wants to be the leader of the free world, accusing me of calling for the execution of individuals in this country for not supporting another presidential candidate, downright beyond a reproach to. I just don't know what more there could be. What more extreme could there be? I think it is the most extreme. I cannot imagine. I don't even know what to say. So more information to come. I hope to have an update for you tonight on Timcast IRL. But that being said, me being in the news, I've addressed it to the best of my abilities. I'm sure questions will arise, and I will have more to say on this later in the day. And with this being the first business day back from the holiday, again, I'm already conferring with my lawyers and counsel. We'll jump on to the next story after Super Chats. Things are getting crazy out there. Alleged 911 call reports 32 armed Venezuelan street gang members invading Chicago apartment complex. This story's big. We have a video from a man in Chicago warning these Venezuelan gangs, don't try and pull what you pull in Aurora or Denver. Videos out of Denver and Aurora are shocking. And now we have Nancy Pelosi saying she wants to give amnesty to all illegal immigrants. Move them to document it, something to that effect. We'll talk about that, but for now, I will grab Super Chats, and I will stress this again, my friends, now more than ever. Go to timcast.com, click Join Us to become a member. We need your support. I wish I could say a lot more. I do. But this lawsuits, as you know, are expensive, and we will need all the support we can get. Let's grab some Super Chats. We've got One Life who says, first. Indeed, sir, you were first. Congratulations. Jason Dixon says, Tim, you should bring real estate mindset on. Travis and Mitch are talking about inflation, job loss, illegal immigration. It says imagination. Imagination's still legal, but, you know, with the way this country's going. All of it has an effect on everything we talk about all the time. Interesting. Unit says, health YouTube channels like Dr. Eric Berg that promoting a keto diet are reporting YouTube censorship. And I had posts censored that contained baptized. Interesting. I think one of the funniest things was Raymond G. Stanley Jr. saying that he got unsubscribed from Timcast IRL. And I'm like, now that right there, you know. But there are a lot of our biggest fans, and I'm big fans of them as well. I really do appreciate the support, who have tweeted or sent messages saying, I was just unsubscribed from IRL, a show that I comment on and super chat on every single night. Yeah, we get the game. YouTube is playing these games. Eli Betakovich says, congrats on your lawsuit. And bought Mr. Boga's pumpkin spice. Best pumpkin spiced coffee I've had. The family loves it. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. I'll stress this again. I say our intention is to file a lawsuit because I'm not the lawyers. I don't know where the lawyers end up. But basically, I'm calling my lawyers saying this cannot stand. I won't stand for it. And the lawyers are working on the back end. And full intentions, we are filing a lawsuit. Full intention. So I'm just saying I hope we get whatever we can in as soon as possible. Boosted Yogi says, if y'all go through with this, I will up my membership to help with the funds. But for now, here's $20. Appreciate the support. Jay Glow says, we have to fight like the country depends on it. I just say it goes beyond just this election. I mean, our culture is broken. To have media and politicians every day posting these psychotic lies. Look, man, it's one thing to say it's bad enough when they said Trump is a white supremacist. The argument legally was white supremacist is an opinion statement because it has no legally defined basis. Or its association is ill-defined and people think it means different things. It's like calling someone a racist. Sure, maybe, but our country is sick. sick if this is where we're at. And that's where we've been at. And there's no remedies to stopping people from posting these lies. Now we're at the point where we're so far beyond that. It is just absolutely insane how far beyond that we've gone. I feel that the tweet from the Harris campaign accusing me of calling for executions, I do not believe there is anything that could be more extreme than that. I don't know what could be more extreme than that. Now, people want to talk about harming children and other crimes. Accusing someone of calling for the mass. It's saying that someone's calling for. I wouldn't call it genocide because political affiliation is not. Well, actually, no. I suppose that they're effectively saying it's psychotic. I have very little words to how shocking that statement from the Kamala campaign was. I don't know what could be more extreme than accusing someone of calling for mass executions of the civilian population. I have no words. You get the point. Waffle Sensei says, I've already had a family member bring up that tweet about you. I've tried to show them this show before, and now that family member will not be hearing any of your arguments because of this lie. It is extreme to the... on a scale of 1 to 100, with 100 being the most extreme possible thing you could accuse someone or lie about someone, this is 100. I'm sorry. Accusing someone of calling for mass executions of half the population is just beyond psychotic, egregious. Defamatory is an understatement. Daniel J. Corica says, here is my contribution to the Tim Pool Legal Fund. Never surrender. Tim Pool Fitness Challenge update, 260 pounds down from 310. 260 pounds down from 310. Here, good sir. Stay positive, people. If you guys haven't, as an aside, make sure you check out Boonies HQ on YouTube. We have a new video up. This one's for Jack Posobiec, called Out the Gate Tim Pool. And basically, I was wrapping up stuff for the podcast, and the crew asked me to do a trick. They were filming. I guess nobody was here, and they're like, Tim, do a trick. So I was like, who's here? And they're like, nobody. That's why you have to do it. I'm like, all right. So I did a trick called a manual, which is like a wheelie. You're riding the back wheels, and then cancel flip out. It's where it flips one way and then flips back the other way. And that's up on YouTube. And there's some jokes about it. Creed is featured in it because I was playing Creed higher when they walked in, and I was like, I got to turn Creed off. So we put Creed in it. So that's why I said shout out to Jack. Let's grab a couple more before we get to the next story. Evan Hogan says, yeah, F this. Tim is the most impartial person I know. Oh, I appreciate it. I don't know that I'm the most impartial person, or I would just say I try to do my best to give my opinion based on facts. Meaning my opinions can be wrong, but I try to make sure the basis of everything we're discussing comes from factually based news reports that, to the best of my ability, I can confirm. Bridget May says, doing the right thing cost me $350,000 in legal fees. I ended up having to settle because I ran out of money, and the stress caused an autoimmune disease. Indeed, the decision was not made lightly. And that's why I have stated over and over again, and I will again, go to Timcast.com, click join us. This is a battle that we here at Timcast, I need as much support as I can get. I don't know what else to say, I can't believe we're here. I feel like a lot of the intention with the harassment that we receive on a daily basis, they want to create such stress on an individual that you give up, that you just shut it down and you walk away. Because for a lot of people, man, this holiday weekend, I'm seeing these families. Wow. I saw this big, beautiful house on the beach. And there was just a guy sitting there sipping a beer. And I thought it's fascinating. I work 16-hour days, morning show, nightly show. Not to mention, when we filmed like the Out the Gate segment for the Boonies, that physical exercise, everything I'm doing, we're filming, we're producing shows, we're trying to do a lot more. Plus, there's the administrative paperwork in the back end. And even to a certain degree, sometimes on weekends. The point of me taking weekends off was that I could do the more administrative stuff, like go to the bank, update vehicles and things like that. I am often envious. Man, I see people hanging out and they're like, well, I got off work and then I went and hung out. And I'm like, man, I don't have that. I work in the morning, exercise, eat, and then work at night. That's it. It is what it is, I guess. But I feel that often you see these things in the political landscape. It's a pressure system. Create so much pressure on one side and then alleviate pressure on the other. And many individuals, it works. Works indeed. I believe it was Zuby who had this tweet. People think that FU money results in people speaking their mind freely, which is not the case. There are people who are afraid of losing their jobs making $60,000 a year. When people graduate to making $1 million a year, the pressure is only substantially harder. You're not going to lose a simple job. You're going to lose everything. It only makes it so you have more to lose. People become more cowardly the closer they get, the more money they get. Let's go. C-Dub says Godspeed. Very large super chat. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Finken Farm says, I'm a member since February 22. I'll increase my support later. Here's a thank you for your content in the past years. Looking forward to more decades to come. And then God says, Tim is bald. Thank you for paying me $5 to tell me this. I was aware when I took a shower this morning, but I'm happy to accept your money and even read your super chat. I always say, man, hey, you want to come in my show and super chat, give me money to say mean things about me. I'll take it. I don't have the ego these people think I do. I know exactly what and who I am. Ain't nothing changing that. I'm not going to go get transplants. I'm not going to, look at my teeth are all nasty. Look at this. I'm genetically missing a tooth. That's what I find funny about these women who get plastic surgery, like their lips are all big or whatever. I'm genetically missing a tooth. I just never got it. Just genetically not there. Crooked teeth, whatever. And bald. Just wear a beanie. The beanie thing's funny. But, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. What am I going to do about it? I'm also 38 years old and I skate. And I don't know. These people on the internet just yelling all the time. Like yelling and hating and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I mean? Like, I was talking about this last week on the subject of pain on Timcast IRL. And so, like, we get NAD, IV drips periodically. I've been getting them since I got COVID. Joe Rogan used to. I don't think he gets them anymore, but a lot of people swear by him. It's the hydration that really think helps. But you got to get a needle into your arm. And so I don't know, like, I see people when they get IVs, they're like wincing and they're groaning, and I see people get hurt and they're yelling. We had one of the homies came for our opening event, tried to drop in on a Booney's death drop, which is 11 and a half feet of vertical drop into a 5-foot transition ramp, and he broke his femur. And he did not whinge. He did not groan. He raised his fist with a shattered femur. It's the most painful bone to break. And I respect that. I said he won the man prize. My point is, what does it get you? What does complaining and making the face, I don't know what it does. I thought about this a long time ago when I was a little kid. And, maybe when I'm becoming a teenager and I'm skating and I'm falling and getting hurt and I'm just like, expressing that I've been hurt does literally nothing for me. No one's going to come save me. No one's going to carry me away. Unless I'm so hurt I can barely move, people are going to notice anyway, like at a skate park or something. That's what I mean about the mean stuff online. Saying this stuff like, I don't know what it's intending to do. Like, what am I supposed to do about it? And what is it supposed to do to me? And I don't know why I should care. All I know is I can walk 10 feet and go buy a double bacon cheeseburger and enjoy the rest of my day, regardless of what someone else says about me. But there are a lot of people that don't live that way. They stub their toe and they scream and they whinge. And I'm like, but why? It hurts? Yeah, I guess. Yelling doesn't do anything. It just wastes more energy. So I'm skating and I whack my shin and I'm just like, damn it. I say, that's it. I'm like, yeah, it hurts. Whatever, man. All right. Let's grab some more. Nick the Salamander says, good luck, Tim. I hope this gives you the tools to shine light into dark places. Also, can you please talk about Jordan Peterson? What about Jordan Peterson? Olympian Product says, Tim Pool looks like he puts ketchup on hot dogs. That I take offense to. I am from Chicago, my friend. Okay, no, we don't. We do sport peppers, relish, mustard, celery salt. Don't you bring none of that. I'll tell you what I put on my hot dogs. Grilled onions and mustard. Ketchup on a hot dog. What do I look like, huh? Ugh. Now, when I was a little kid, Mom would cut the hot dog into little slices and then squirt some ketchup on the plate, and that's what you'd eat. Okay, but as a man, We do grilled onions and mustard. That is the way you do it. A little bit of relish goes a long way, but Chicago style is great. They do a tomato, they do sport pepper, relish, mustard, and onion. That's what I'm talking about. Celery salt, don't forget it. Liberty Revolution says, Tim, it's happening everywhere. Newsroom, Chicago apartment building taken over by Venezuelan gang. We knew this was coming. It's time people in their local communities come together. Dapper McStash says, for what it's worth, sorry for the case. Lawsuits are exhausting and tedious, but do what you got to do, man. It's not just about me. It's largely about me, but it's about everyone. It's about everything. I do not know how this country survives when the presidential candidate for the largest political party is accusing individuals of advocating for what is tantamount to genocide. It's just insane. I just don't even know what to say, man. Let's jump to this next news story. From the Shore News Network. We got this story. Alleged 911 call reports 32 armed Venezuelan street gang members invading Chicago apartment complex. Now, it's tough to track this story. It's hard to know what is or is not true, so I say this all with a grain of salt. I'm not familiar with Shore News Network. There's another website called Newsdrum. These are allegations. A video posted by Libs of TikTok from crimeisdown.com. It's a video of what they say is a 911 dispatch call. What I can say to this story is we have another video from a man allegedly from Chicago. I believe he likely is saying, this ain't Colorado. We got switches. I just want to tell you. The big story in Colorado is that Venezuelan gangs are taking over buildings. Armed gangs are shaking people down for protection or protection money. They're going door to door and demanding cash from residents. They've taken it over. There's been reports beyond this one that in Chicago, similar things are happening. I want to give a friendly warning. Friendly warning. To all of these illegal immigrants in Chicago, you ain't seen nothing. Don't do it. This guy's not wrong. I'll play this video in a second, but please, please, for the love of all that is holy, you need to get the F out and don't do this. You see these videos in Aurora where they walk up to an apartment complex and bash the door open and are shaking people down with guns. That may fly in Aurora. But I tell you, man, they call Chicago Chirac for a reason. I know exactly what happens if you knock on someone's door with a gun. The bullets go through the door. I am not exaggerating. If these guys out there, these Venezuelans in Chicago, whatever your gang is, you be warned, man. Chicago is not Colorado. This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy is saying Venezuelans in Chicago. Okay, this is. I've been hearing stuff about this. The gangs in Chicago. I mean, they'll kill you for looking at them the wrong way. There are some gangs in Chicago that in order to join the gang, you got to kill someone for no reason at all. And the cops don't want to go in these areas. There are parts of Chicago where when you drive down the street, on each street corner, you've got 20 gangbangers armed, waving guns. Where I grew up, there were numerous shootings. Fight at my high school, guy pulls out a gun, okay? It's not fists. It's a guy, they say, let's go fight. And then the guy pulls out a 2x4, the other guy pulls out a gun. Everyone runs screaming. These gangs, when they come to Chicago, they're going to learn what it means when they call Chicago Chirac. A lot of people are laughing about it. We don't need international gang violence. Gang violence is bad enough. Shore News says the alleged takeover in Chicago follows a similar incident in Aurora, Colorado, where a group of Venezuelan migrants reportedly seized control of a building. Although there is no video footage from the Chicago incident, the 9/11 audio has been verified by local authorities who confirmed that law enforcement responded to the situation. Details about any arrests or injuries have not yet been released. Chicago Police Department has not yet confirmed the incident. I'll play for you the video, and again, take it with a grain of salt, but I do believe that there is currently a preponderance of evidence to suggest this is happening, but I would not call it proof positive.
Unit 10-3, I'm citywide person with a gun, 6124 South King Drive. Caller says 32 Venezuelans are trespassing the building, showing guns in the courtyard, and they have motorcycles in the courtyard as well. All they're filled. Nothing further is unclear.
So wow. 32 Venezuelans are trespassing the building. They have motorcycles. They're brandishing guns.
Hey, I'm sorry. Are you headed over to the ShotSpotter or to the 6124 on King for the migrants?
On King Drive.
All right, 10-4. If there's another available unit, arrive at 310. We had multiple calls. First with the gun, 6124 South King. Also came over to disturbance, large gathering. Said to be 32 Venezuelans, shots passing in the building, property showing guns in the courtyard.
Wow.
They have motorcycles in the courtway, all stairwells filled. And nothing further.
You know, I've been talking about defamation quite a bit in this live show for those that have just joined this segment. But I got to tell you, everything we are seeing in the news right now to this election, it's crazy. It's fascinating to me how we've had these political arguments for a long time about how this election truly is the most important. Gore v. Bush. I mean, I was like, what, 13, 14? I think I was 14 years old. I don't know what that means. People, it's the most important, and then the hanging chads and all that stuff. But why? Why was Bush v. Gore so important? I don't know. What was really going on? I mean, Clinton was bad, I guess. And then Bush was bad. Got no wars. So when it came to McCain, Obama, I said Kerry, Bush. We got to get Bush out. Bush wins re-election. 9/11 did a lot to people. McCain v. Obama, supposed to be Hillary. Obama ends up winning. They say it's the most important election. But why? What was going on in 2008? Well, the Great Recession was brutal. But the Great Recession wasn't an existential crisis. I was a young man. I mean, I was working. I know it was bad. But people were just like, these things happen in America. We've had depressions before. The Great Recession isn't the worst economic state of this country. 2012, Obama, Romney, the most important election. They always say it. 2016, they claimed it. Trump wins. 2020, they say it. I think it was true. 2016 was an important election. At the time, it was the most. 2020 at the time was the most important election. It's only gotten worse. Today, I will say, for many reasons, this is the most important election of our lives. It may be the most important election in this country's history. I know, it's kind of crazy, right? We don't know what happens in 2025. We don't know what happens after November. But when you have armed street gangs, foreign individuals coming into this country, acquiring or bringing weapons, both are true, and they're taking over American territory and stealing money from Americans, we're nearly in a state of war. One political party is exacerbating this. This country can't survive this way. It just can't. Libs of TikTok post this video. Chicago resident. So I'm going to play this video for you guys for context, but I'm not sure if what the language is. So just so you know, there might be swearing.
To all Venezuelans in Chicago, this is the warning. If you ain't on no bullshit, stay neutral. Somebody please translate. Stay neutral. If you know somebody that's in your building on bullshit, don't let them run in that building, and don't let nobody see them run in that building. Because once word get out that that's the building that they in, they gonna chop that bitch down.
So this man on TikTok does say he is from Chicago.
Whatever building,
I think he's from Chicago.
Y'all occupying and all that shit. Yeah, you better get your food and just stay in the house, because they come out doing some bullshit. Y'all gonna regret that. You're gonna really regret that. So, I don't speak Spanish, so somebody need to translate. I hope they got TikTok that translate, I guess. They can kind of make me seem like I'm speaking Spanish. But anyway, take this like a grain of salt if you like. But this ain't Colorado. This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places.
Not California.
This is just like where you from.
It's worse.
The only difference is y'all use a lot of handgun, old revolvers, and machetes and shit. We got switches.
Full auto pistols.
Switches. If you're not familiar with what a switch is, we will show you.
Holy crap.
We don't really be with all the telling and shit. But we will definitely show you what a switch is. So, again, somebody translate. Yeah. Make this known. This ain't like Colorado. I'm just saying.
There you go, man. So I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure switches refers to full auto pistols. Let me pull it up. But I'm pretty sure they're talking about, unless someone in the super chat wants to clarify, but I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. Let's see. Translate to Venezuelan. People saying I need a translation. LOL switches and AR pistols without sights. Yep. What is going on with this thing? Let's do this. I want to pull it up, that's why. Make sure I can give you the source for this. A small device attached to the rear of the slide of a Glock handgun. A Glock switch or auto sear, converting the semi-automatic pistol into a selective fire machine pistol capable of fully automatic. I've seen the videos out of Chicago, you know, where they've got the handgun and they got extended magazines and then they tape them together so they can flip them or whatever. Crazy, dude. Crazy. He's not wrong. Take a look at this from Nick's order. Justin. Masked gangs wielding AR-15 style rifles are invading Denver suburbs. No arrests have been made. Colorado has become absolutely lawless, and it's spreading across the country. Take a look at this video. I don't know if there's any sound. You can see individuals. This is nuts, man. They're breaking into someone's garage. They've got... Man, this guy's got a rifle. He's pointing it. What are they going to do? Someone's going to walk out, he's going to shoot him? Damn, this is crazy. They're stealing, I think they're stealing a motorcycle. Yep. Stealing a motorcycle. For those that are just listening, you've got a couple guys, hoodies, long guns. It looks like they might have AKs. I'm not saying, he says it's AR-15 style. I'm not entirely sure. It's a grainy black and white video. You guys watching might be able to figure it out better if you can see it. I'm not sure. AR-15 style. One guy looks like he's holding a handgun. One guy's got a long gun. Man, yeah, it might be like an AR-15. I'm not sure. This is crazy. The big news, I guess, we'll jump to this from Daily Caller. Move them to documented. Pelosi appears to support amnesty for illegal immigrants. I don't know why they put appears to. She literally said it on Bill Maher.
The California lawmakers just passed a law. It hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Nuts.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to
but not to you, Gen Z.
Immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as President of the United States. I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the beacon of hope it is to the world, and what America was preeminent in the world because our door was always open, and we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door. Now, I don't do justice to the great communicator. Google it. It's a fabulous speech. And George Herbert Walker Bush continued in that respect for the diversity of America and the rest. California's always in the lead. Maybe others will follow that lead, but that's up to those states. But we are very blessed here with beautiful diversity.
So you'd vote for this law?
Excuse me?
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what that is, but making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before your recidivism. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented. The fact that we can move them to documented. One of the best things that we can do for our
undocumented
is to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
It's crazy. How does this country survive? I mean that seriously. You can go back and you can talk about gay marriage or whatever that nonsense. That never meant, I never cared. And the conservatives make good points. I didn't think they were wrong. I remember back during was it Proposition 8? Let me pull that up actually. Prop 8, the musical. You guys remember that? 2009. Let me play this old Funny or Die classic for you. Just a little bit of it. I'm not going to play the full thing. Funny or Die. You remember this one? This has got 1 million views.
It's a brand new bright Obama day. What a time to be black, a girl, or gay. No, nothing could go wrong. So join us in this song of happy days for the gays. Nothing.
Anyway, I'm not going to play the full thing, but then Christians show up.
People listen to our plea. They'll teach kids about sodomy.
Yep.
That wasn't right. That's a lie.
Whoa! And that's where it gets funny. So here's why I bring this up. If you were able to catch whatever they were singing, I'll explain. In the beginning, they say it's a great Obama day to be black or whatever, to be gay. And then the Christian side says they'll teach kids about sodomy. And then they say, that's not right. That's a lie. Actually, that was exactly what happened. And it's exactly where we are now. And despite the fact that we have, I was on the side of the people saying like, yeah, I don't know, whatever, civil unions, gay marriage, whatever you want to do. We are now at this point where when conservatives are making the argument that they're going to teach kids about these things and that it was a lie, they're doing this in schools. In fact, one of these books, I forgot what the book is called. I can never remember what it's called. What is it called? This Book is Gay, I think it's called. Let me make sure This Book is Gay. I think that's what the book is called. Yeah. In that book, it explains to children how to consume human bodily solid waste. Or not how to, but explains the function and definition for what these things are. Basically explaining why people do it. To put it mildly, that's not right. That's a lie. Well, they went well above and beyond all of that. I'd love to meet a handful of these people and ask them about how that was a lie back in 2009 when they were saying that. So I bring this up. Why? That issue isn't the biggest issue to me, to be completely honest. Look, we've got legal and cultural problems that have extended to where they are today, which is a much, much bigger problem. Gay marriage was not a big problem. Now that they're trying to put these books in schools, we got a really big problem. So again, when the conservatives on the musical were like, it's a lie, or I'm sorry, when they're saying they're going to teach kids about sodomy, and the other side said it's a lie, it turned out they were right. The issue of gay marriage, to me, it's whatever. Honestly, it's whatever. It's like, I don't care, man. But if now they're trying to put these books in schools, it's gone well above and beyond. So my point is this. When these political issues were happening, it wasn't the end of the country. It wasn't the end of the world. Giving amnesty to 15 to 20 million illegal immigrants that came into this country over the past several years, many of whom we can see are in criminal gangs, it's an existential crisis. It is an existential crisis. If we allow this to happen, this country cannot survive. Nancy Pelosi doesn't even know what she's talking about. Giving $150,000 to non-citizens, to illegal immigrants, to buy houses when Gen Z can't even get a job. Please show this video to Gen Z and be like, they're talking about giving money and houses to people who aren't even citizens of this country, and you pay taxes and you're in debt. Man, I don't know how this country survives this. We need a dramatic cultural shift in this country. Otherwise, The American dream is for everybody but you. There won't be an American dream. Not to mention what's going on with the escalations into potentially World War III, which will be the next segment that I get into. This really is the most important election of our lives. Maybe the most important election of this country. I'm going to say it again because a lot of people don't want to say it or they don't want to admit it or whatever. The petrodollar's over. It's done. People don't understand what that means. U.S. control is about to collapse. Ask yourself why it is that we live so comfortably. No, the reality is people in America don't know they live comfortably. But you want to talk about depression. We're headed for one serious depression. I believe that if the Democrats win, high probability World War III, or at the very least, massive international conflict, which results in a massive economic downturn. I believe that if Donald Trump wins, we still have a great chance of massive international conflict, even with Donald Trump. He's just the better option. For one, we certainly don't want Kamala Harris to be president should an international conflict erupt. But more importantly, Trump is actively trying to stop the conflict from happening, as evidenced by his first term. With the petrodollar deal over with Saudi Arabia and the BRICS nations developing their own currency, we are on the verge of the U.S. dollar losing its status. It's about to lose its reserve status. The U.S. is trying to pump money into other countries to build confidence so they keep using the dollar. They've been doing that for a long time. It's insane, in my opinion. Military might is not going to cut it. And the U.S. does not export enough goods to justify its ability to buy oil on the international market. By controlling the dollar, we literally just export the dollar. But that's over now. Saudi Arabia said enough. The BRICS nations are launching their own currency. That's why I think, should the Democrats retain power, their move is maintain the liberal economic order, declare war, and blow up anybody who dares oppose us. That's what they did with Saddam Hussein. That's what they did with Muammar Gaddafi. Then Donald Trump took power, and they were terrified. He would not play this game. He did not want the war. But it seems like now the war is coming. There are a lot of people internationally who are terrified of a Trump presidency. And I don't mean the bad guys. The people who are scared of Democrats are scared the Democrats are going to bomb everybody. But the scumbags of the world are hoping. Either way, I don't think the Democrats can sustain the system. I don't think it matters. If they create large-scale conflict with NATO and Russia, which we're already basically seeing, then I just see it spiraling into chaos and the U.S. losing in the long run. But internally, to wrap up this segment, amnesty for non-citizens and housing for non-citizens while American citizens suffer is a guaranteed way to lose any international conflict. Unless what they're hoping to do is, once the war breaks out, tell 20 million illegal immigrants, you want to be citizens? Go fight our war for us and you will be. Maybe that's the play. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up the next segment is coming up at 4 p.m. on this channel. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at timcast.com if you want to support our efforts, and we will see you all on this channel at 4. As for everybody else, next up, World War III. Turkey wants to join BRICS Union. It's the beginning of the end, man. No question, no joke. But we'll read super chats right now for all of you guys, and then we'll jump to the next story. All right. Steel Valor says, I'm using Google survey money to pay you. Stick it to the man. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. AmTrue13 says, these people believe the lie that a woman can become a man and vice versa. Blatant lies is all they know. Upgrading my silver membership. Let's go. Really do appreciate it. We'll grab a couple more. Pin King says, breaking news, the Nashville shooter manifesto to be released soon by the Tennessee Star. Interesting. Dr. Deeked says, why isn't anyone covering the Giuliani verdict? Also, when are you going to have unsubscribed podcast Pimp Your Tesla Cybertruck? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Giuliani verdict. I think I've heard something only a little bit about it. Let's see. Someone says the trans manifesto has been released in full. It's worse than we thought. Really? Maybe we should pull that one up. I wonder who's got the story. So Tennessee Star, of course. I don't know what I can show of the manifesto, and we're going to need to go through it. But, wow. I'm looking at... 'Cause I was born wrong. Wow. Wow, this is crazy. Hate symbols appear throughout the journal, including an entry written in March. Maybe we should pull this one up and talk about this next. Yikes, man. I don't know what I can show of it, but maybe it's important that we pull this one up, and I'll discuss it. But I may have to blur some of the images from it, which are shocking. And so the manifesto has been released today. The Tennessee Star releases manifesto left by trans covenant school killer Audrey Hale. All right. Mike Higgins says, hey, Tim, where can we go to support you and the company without YouTube taking a penny? Timcast.com. On the left bar in the menu, it says join us. You click that. You sign up, and the membership, you'll get access to the Discord server, our uncensored show. There are other member benefits, like when we do live events, members get first access to tickets. And that is how we fund the company, through memberships. So timcast.com. Jim S. says, add to your law fund. Have you considered a GoFundMe when you make the final decision? I will stress the final decision has already been made. There's a lot of people saying when you do it, we are literally doing everything you can in the order to do it to file a lawsuit. There's no decision to be made. The decision was made the moment they lied about me. We are suing them. Now we have to get to the point where the lawyers finish the paperwork. We go through all the legal issues we have to go through, and then that is the plan. Pending unforeseen legal circumstances I don't know about. That's why I say it's our intention to do so. I will never use GoFundMe. And I will not launch an official fundraiser for it. I'm just letting you know we're doing it. If you want to support the things we do, become a member at timcast.com. That's all I can say. I mean, look, I got to be honest. If we launched a Give, Send, Go, that was like an easy page for people to donate, I bet we'd make a lot of money. Maybe we'll have to. For the time being, I'm just saying, look, we're doing it. We're doing it because we have to do it. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do. It's important. And you can support our work by being a member at timcast.com. But should we actually run into that wall where this is going to cost a lot of money, then we may have to. But, for now, it's just timcast.com. Matthew Reckham says, have you seen Kamala's recent campaign ad? 20 seconds with 5 jump cuts. I've heard jokes about her having early stage dementia, but maybe we should look into that. All right, let's see. Janelle Hunter says, thank you for fighting back. Indeed, this slander cannot be allowed to stand. Indeed. Heesel77 says, I'm 48 and I have I'm 48. I have all my hair. Every strand is accounted. You're putting them in bags and going one by one, I take it. Is that what you're doing? Well, good for you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the money. Let's see. MP5 says, as a U.S. Marine and Afghanistan war veteran, what this leadership did in Afghanistan alone completely disqualifies them. Now they're doing this. Geez, what's next? They're out of control. Get him, Tim. Fight. I also guys, we have to stand up for ourselves. We have to do this. Whatever the detractors, the naysayers, the critics will tell you, you've just got to do what you have to do. You have to do the right thing. You have to stand up for yourself. We've got to go out and vote. We've got to register people to vote. We've got to call out the liars. All right. We'll grab a couple more, and then I think we'll, I need to I'm going to look, I've got 2 instances of this article from the Tennessee Star, because I'm basically going to be reading this in real time just with the story just dropping, and breaking news. So I'm going to basically make sure there's nothing in, but I'm going to show as much as I can of the manifesto, which has now been publicly released. All right, let's just grab one more. John says, elections are important because every 4 years, Dems institute some irreversible policy that permanently damages the country on purpose, regardless of who's president. Interesting. Gopher Rockfish says, I just sent an email to the member support support to up my subscription. My husband and I watch every night, and this show really helped me out of a dark place during COVID. Good vibes to you and your family. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Brian Hodges says, I remember Rush Limbaugh on the radio when I was a child saying if Prop 8 passed, that pedophilia would be pushed as normal thought through LGBT. It's funny because they're doing this now. And the issue is they say in that video, that's not right. That's a lie. And it literally happened. It wasn't a lie. It was accurate speculation saying if A, then B. And what they're arguing now is, well, there are married parents who are both men or both female. We have to explain to children, don't we? And they're using that as justification to put these books in schools, which are graphic adult content books. Let's jump to this next story, which I may actually end up putting up at 1 p.m. right after the show wraps instead, considering this is massive, major breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tennessee Star has released the manifesto from the transgender covenant school killer, Audrey Hale. This is breaking right now as I record this live. And I'm going to be going through it because as I'm reading this live, I must, there are certain images I think that we can't actually show on YouTube. I do mean that. It looks like for the most part, I will be showing the story. And I will be showing you what the individual said, though I'm not going to go through the entire contents of the manifesto. But there is new information being released. More reporters are now digging through this so we can better understand why this individual went to a Catholic school and murdered children. So we have this again from the Tennessee Star. They finally released this, and we can see. I'll read the story for you on Tuesday. The Tennessee Star and editor-in-chief Michael Patrick Leahy released 90 pages of writings left by Covenant school killer Audrey Elizabeth Hale. The Covenant Killer's 2023 journal, which was handwritten by Hale between January and March of 23, can be downloaded here. Wow, let's see if what happens if we click it. They'll email you the link. Okay, that's interesting. That's a weird way to do it, to be honest. The journal was legally obtained by the Star from a source familiar with the investigation in June 2024. It was recovered. We'll jump down a little bit. It was recovered from Hale's vehicle by officers with the Metro Nashville Police Department, along with a spiral notebook after her March 27, 2023 attack on the Covenant School, where she murdered 3 9-year-old children and 3 adult staff members. Between June 5th and September 3rd, the Star published approximately 50 articles that are based on the writings in the journal, but do not contain the actual pages from that journal. Tuesday's publication of the Covenant Killer's journal provides further evidence supporting those 50 articles, but also reveals new information, including the octagonal symbol Hale drew when writing about her planned attack at the Covenant school, or her gender identity. Hale, who was 28 years old when she died, was born a biological female but identified as a transgender male. Incorrect. That is incorrect. Identified as a transgender female. I'll break this down for you in a second. At the time of the attack, she often signed journal entries using the name Aiden. If you are a transgender identified male, you are biologically male with male parts who identifies as transgender, meaning you want to be female, but you are not. Identifying as a transgender male is incorrect. She identified herself as a male, but so the terminology is incorrect. And people get this wrong all the time, and it's probably confusing on purpose. They say the octagonal symbol first appeared on the journal's cover. Within its pages, the distinctive shape next appears on the first page, opposite where the killer wrote, "Why does my brain not work right? Because I was born wrong." Now I'm this is breaking right now, so I'm pre-screening this, and we will scroll down. In the image, it says darkness. There's a symbol that looks like the Umbrella Corporation from Resident Evil. Nature. It says PAP ban 2/27/95, 7/13/95. Everything hurts. Wow. Why does my brain not work right? Because I was born wrong. Nothing on earth can save me. Never-ending pain. Religion won't save. Wow. Hale's symbol appears throughout the journal, including an undated entry, apparently written in mid-March 2023, when the killer wrote about the attack she planned later that month. "Soon I will leave this world. You and your friends will be just fine. Does it even matter if I am alive?" Hale later added the octagonal symbol, and above it wrote, "No regrets" by the gun. Wow. I don't believe that I can show the next page. I believe it gets to a bit too graphic, and so I don't think I can show that one. So I will be activating our blur so that you can still generally see it, but it keeps out some of the on YouTube a little too spicy what this person was writing. Shocking, but I will discuss it. It goes on to say the Covenant Journal and the Spiral Notebook were initially called a manifesto. In the manifesto, there are several different writings about other locations. There were locations in it. There were locations. It talks about the school. There was a map of the school, a drawing of how potentially she would enter and assaults that would take place. It's quite a bit of writing to it. I have not read the whole entire manifesto. Our team in the FBI have been working on this, Drake stated. While the Star has not obtained the Spiral Notebook, which is said to contain writings of her operational plan of attack, a portion was leaked and subsequently published by conservative commentator and comedian Steven Crowder last year. So this is this journal. I mean, they've got the full thing. I'm looking at it right now, and I'll read for you what I can. But there are some things that I do believe. It says no regrets. I regret nothing. There's some other, soon I will leave this world. You and your friends will just be first. Wow. I said my last goodbye to you today. Terrifying. MNPD officers accompanied by agents from the FBI and the ATF seized 20 additional journals written by Hale between 2007 and 2022 at the Nashville residence she shared with her parents during a legally authorized search to the courtroom searched on the afternoon of March 27th. Those journals are said to contain about 1,000 pages. In addition, numerous videos, a suicide note, and duplicate thumb drives containing information she may have wanted police to find were seized that afternoon. Rather than an ideologically driven composition, the manifesto comprised it's the killer's journal. Okay. The Spiral Notebook found in her car and 20 journals written between 2007 and 2022 is better understood as a collection of writings in which Hale sporadically wrote her thoughts in the moments and years preceding her devastating attack. Our reporting on the Covenant Killers investigation has served the public interest, Michael Patrick Leahy, the editor-in-chief of the Star, said Tuesday. We legally obtained writings, MNPD investigation documents, crime scene photos in June 2024. These documents and photos have helped us inform the public about the underlying reasons for the heinous attack and have helped drive the public discussions on what should have been done to prevent such an act of violence, what should be done to prevent such acts of violence in the future. We have documented a massive failure of the mental health system as a root cause of Hale's reprehensible actions. In a statement released on Tuesday, Leahy said, we have had a First Amendment right to publish these documents from the moment we legally obtained them. They say on April 24th, 2023, in compliance with the Tennessee Public Records Act, we formally requested of MNPD, a department within the Metro Nashville, Davidson County government, that they release all of the writings of Audrey Elizabeth Hale they have obtained as part of their investigation into the March murders. Metro Nashville government denied the request one day later. In May, we filed suit against Metro Nashville government in Davidson County, yada, yada. The case assigned to the judge. We get it. They say on July 31st, 2024, we appealed the trial court's ruling to the Tennessee Court of Appeals. We expect to win our appeal. Both Star News Digital Media, who owns the Star, and the editor-in-chief are plaintiffs in both the lawsuits. On June 10th, prior to announcing a ruling, Judge Miles ordered Leahy to appear in court and explain why articles about the contents of Hale's journal, which were published by the Star between June 5th and June 10th, should not subject him to contempt of court charges. At that June 17th hearing, Miles ultimately reversed course, instead holding a landscaping hearing about the status of the case and ignoring the original purpose of the hearing. In his statement, Leahy explained how these actions had a chilling effect on the First Amendment. On June 10th, 2024, 5 days after we began publishing articles based on the Covenant's Killers 2023 journal, I'm going to pause. I just want to say this. The Tennessee Stars probably use that phrase over and over and over again, and they won't stop. And I think they're doing it for SEO generation. And so I'm trying to parse through this while getting as much information as possible. But it is particularly frustrating that they keep saying the same things instead of saying it or the journal or but I digress. Judge Miles issued a show cause hearing order to me, requiring me to show up in the courtroom on June 17, 2024, and explain to her why I should not be in contempt of court. It was a surprising development. I've never violated any court order. When I appeared in court, The landscape changed. We read this already. While Judge Miles issued her final ruling in the case, she has provided no information as to whether she intends to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate me. This sort of Damocles has been held over my head by Judge Miles since June 17th, and we have held off on publishing. Once again, they do the same thing. Publishing the journal in part until our legal defense financial resources have reached sufficient level. As such, I can hire counsel to represent me. The journal left by Hale in her vehicle and seized by MNPD in March was legally obtained. And I said that for four times now. In various entries that referenced her mental health, Hale confirmed the desire to transition genders, revealed a purported autism diagnosis, claimed she was not bipolar, and wrote that she once called a phone number associated with a suicide prevention helpline 5 times a day. Hale also referenced her therapist in a possible allusion to her status as a 22-year mental health patient at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where police documents obtained by the Star reveal she was twice evaluated for commitment. In other entries, Hale wrote extensively about her identity, including a 3-page entry the killer titled My Imaginary Penis, in which she wrote about expressing sexual fantasies with stuffed animals. This was a story they published. I can pretend to be them and do the things boys do and experience my boy self as Tony, wrote Hale, adding that she became engrossed in the activities and lost track of time. Jeez. Hale also wrote various entries about the attack she planned at the Covenant School, revealing she considered several dates before March 27th. Though the journal offers scant evidence of a political ideology or motive for the attack, Hale wrote a political rant in an entry dated 1 month prior, where she complained the U.S. fails to respect the rights of disabled people, gun owners, and trans people. So now, because of you, she says she wished death on herself and because of the pure hatred of my female gender. With no rights, anyone's country is a dictatorship. Hale also confirmed in various entries that she had been considering attacking Covenant School for some time. In her final journal entry, which Hale appeared to have written the morning of her attack, the killer wrote, "There were several times I could have been caught." Wow. Hale wrote another entry for 5 years, stating that for 5 years she had planned to die. Other journals found in the killer's home reportedly suggest she began contemplating the attack as a middle school student. She was 28 at the time of her death. Since it was first obtained, Hale's journal and a portion of police documents related to the case, the Star has published a lot. We get it. We'll move on to the bottom. Leahy is expected to appear in a number of media outlets this week to provide further insights to the public on the Covenant Killers investigation. The MNPD crime scene photos contained in this article were legally obtained. Wow, they've said that over and over and over again. We get it. I think you guys need a copy editor to remove all of the repetitious statements, because holy crap, guys, please, with respect, thank you for publishing and working so hard in this story. I do mean it. But my frustration is with the repetition. Said the same thing probably 12 times each. Anyway. Okay. Well, look, my friends, the Tennessee Star has the document available for download. They're strangely and very, very suspectly, in my opinion, when you try to download it, it asks you for your name and your email address, which is very, very strange and I think is wrong. I don't think they should be tracking this. I don't think they should be tracking it this way. If you want to publish it, publish it. But the fact that they're tracking who gets it is highly suspect to me. There's going to be more information on this, so I will keep this one relatively short. As this is just released and many people are now downloading the manifesto, later on in the day there's going to be likely major developments in this, which we'll have for you tonight, youtube.com/TimcastIRL. So I will wrap this one up short, and I'll be putting the segment up at in the 1 p.m. slot due to its being a massive breaking story. Of course, we do have the segment I originally recorded for the 1 p.m. slot. We'll be going up at 4 p.m. instead. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Head over to timcast.com, click join us, become a member. We need your support now more than ever. And you can follow me on X at Timcast. We will see you all in the next segment at 4 and then again at 6. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we will see you all then. I'm drinking Vault today. Black cherry and Numa. Man, those Vaults, just like drinking candy. You know, pros and cons. I'm a big fan of the Vault energy drink because it's ketones, not caffeine or sugar. but it tastes like I'm drinking a lollipop, which is like, it's good, but at a certain point, it's like, man, you're drinking candy. I don't know. All right, we'll grab a couple more super chats before we jump to the last story here. And I don't think actually, well, maybe, I don't know if I have the, do I have the proper one pulled up? I don't. Oh, that was the World War III one. Well, we're going to talk about this this story because this one's particularly fascinating. OnlyFans models pretending to be transgender, but they're cisgender females, sparking a massive bit of outrage. We'll talk about that, but we'll grab your super chats. And I suppose we'll talk about the World War III fears and the BRICS nation stuff later tonight. Continuing the breaking news, I think that kind of, we switch segments out. I like to do the 6 o'clock ones to be a bit more cultural because they get, they don't get as much viewership at 6 for obvious reasons. And so I like to have them be more fun and less serious. We'll save the more serious stuff for tonight. All right. Patrick De Niro says, here in Colorado, there are 7 properties that we do not send crews outside of Aurora, and we are losing work for not sending any crew to Aurora. America is dead here, and everyone is running in Colorado. Wow. Crazy. Auntie C says, I just purchased a Cast Brew subscription to help you with your legal costs. Rip Mr. Bokus, fight, fight, fight. I do appreciate it. I will stress, Cast Brew coffee, we have not taken any of the profits out of. So it's its own company. All the money that's making is going towards itself. We want Cast Brew to set up physical locations everywhere. We want people to have a physical space to hang out. I saw the post, I don't know if it was today or whatever, someone saying, I just want to grab a cup of coffee at a Cast Brew location and hang out with people who, think, like we have a conversation with. And I'm trying. I mean, I feel like that's a dream, right? There are a lot of people see this news, they know the lies, they know what's going on, and you want to hang out with other people, right? I play Magic the Gathering card game. Good fun. I go to a card shop, I can talk all about it. I skateboard, I go to the skate park, I can talk all about it. Go to the poker room, talk all about poker. Sometimes politics comes up, poker tables are fun. But where do you go when you want to talk politics with the boys? You want to go hang out at a club, you want to have a coffee, maybe a beer if we can get the liquor license. I think we're aiming towards that. I don't know about every location. You want to hang out. You sit down, and the goal is to have areas where people can hang out and discuss these things. It's fun. It's fulfilling, and we can build community bonds. So all the money from Cast Brew, staying in Cast Brew. I don't take a salary from Cast Brew. We don't pull profits. It's paying. I think we have one staff member right now. It's covering contracting fees and expansion fees and all of that stuff. Really do appreciate all your support. Become a member at Timcast.com to support our efforts directly. Timcast.com, then click join us. $10 a month. But if you really love us, you can sign up for more. If you sign up for $25 a month, you get upgraded to a special membership where you get direct access to submitting questions and joining our show, as well as a special VIP room and things like that in the Discord. All right, let's grab some super chats here before we jump to the last one. Dale Adnick says, IA is Chauncey. I don't know what that is. Sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Don't understand that one. Star Killer, that's the original name of Luke Skywalker, by the way, says, James Darren, who played Vic Fontaine on DS9, passed away this weekend. He helped me discover Sinatra and others. Sad to hear. The original name of Luke Skywalker was Luke Star Killer, and they changed it. Not Alan Rogers says, why are you grifting money for a lawsuit that you know beyond the shadow of a doubt is frivolous? Bad weekend at the casino? You, sir, try as you might, are incorrect. But I won't be goaded by detractors into insulting or disrespecting any courts or speaking out of turn. This case is legitimate. I fully intend to pursue it, and we have every intention of winning. That being said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how these things are expected to play out. I've had numerous discussions, and let's just say the responses from counsel were shock. I won't say too much, but I can tell you this. I had lawyers reaching out to me expressing the absolute shock at how extreme it is to accuse someone for calling for the genocide of half the population of this country. You know, again, not a lawyer, but this one goes so far beyond as a presidential campaign for the largest political party tens of millions of views, and the post itself with 11.5 million views, we are looking at something that I don't believe could be any more extreme. Any more extreme. And so that's it. We have to fight. All right. Barlin Mirandow, good name, says, Tim, I loved my show. I wish I could give more toward your battle against the criminal enterprise they call the left. We are with you, my friend. Also, autocorrect really tried to sabotage his message. I loved your show. What happened? Yeah, I do get a lot of those messages. They're like, I used to love your show 2 years ago, but you've changed. And I'm like, I guess. I don't know. Like, it happens. What am I going to do about it? Run commercials. Big says it was Adam Starkiller. Is that what it was? It was Adam Starkiller? Adam. And then I think they actually made Starkiller in it, right? Why can't I can't find anything. I can't find that. You sure it was Adam? No, it was Luke Starkiller. It wasn't Adam Starkiller. Luke Starkiller, the original name of Luke Skywalker from the Star Wars franchise. Starkiller, also known as Galen Merrick, the main character of Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Interesting. Starkiller Base, a fictional superweapon from Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yeah. Luke Starkiller. Look, I don't know. It was not Adam Starkiller. I thought it was Luke. Sorry, buddy. I looked it up. You're wrong. Let's jump to this story, though. This one is actually quite hilarious. And it exposes a lot about this gender ideology stuff that I think we should talk about. This story from the Daily Mail. It went viral over this past weekend, but we're back and we're going to talk about it. This image that you are seeing are two reportedly biological females. These are two women who apparently make OnlyFans content pretending to be male, but are actually female. Earmuffs, but I'll keep this one family friendly. Apparently what they do is they place things in their pants and then act like they're males on hormones to make money. And it works. Now, what's interesting about this is that trans women are furious, and they're claiming these women are wearing trans face, are transphobic, are invading their space. And it's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Irony must be lost on these people, right? Women have been complaining that biological males have been dressing up like women and taking hormones and then demanding access to women's spaces. And women are saying no. Now you have females pretending to be trans women, and trans women are saying you are invading our space. You don't get to do that. You don't get to take everyone else's space and then demand exclusivity for your own. These women are just trans, right? They're just trans men. What's the problem? Here's the story. Two OnlyFans models have been accused of pretending to be trans women to make money on the platform. The adult creators, who go by Silly Lily TS, went viral after they published a video on X captioned, "Just two boys being silly," alongside a trans flag. The video prompted hundreds of responses from X users who claimed the visible bulge on the models was actually adult objects and accused them of mocking trans women. One comment read, "Pretending to be trans to grift while also being transphobic is also embarrassing." I am going to pause right there and just say, I don't think anyone's confirmed that they are actual biological females. They may be. I'll tell you why. The individual on the right does appear female. Entirely possible they're actually dudes. Whatever. But the a couple things you can notice is the gummy smile. And I mean no disrespect to people with gummy smiles. But when women smile, their teeth bare in ways that men don't. There's a funny story that I saw once about advertising. And an advertiser said, we need a picture of a man's mouth for a razor or for some kind of ad campaign. Maybe you guys have heard the story. And the guy came back and gave him a photo and he says, "This is a woman's mouth. We need a man's mouth." And the guy's like, "What do you mean it's just a mouth? How can you tell the difference?" And he says, "When women smile, their upper teeth show. When men smile, they don't. Men have to pull back." So that looks like a biological female. But hey, if not, congratulations on your transition. The female on the left, also, people are generally saying they appear to be female. The image, of course, is censored, which is silly because it's not real, but whatever. Another added, is there anything more disgusting than pretending to be transgender and then being transphobic towards trans girls? A third wrote, oh, F off and stop profiting off trans people. Everyone knows it's adult objects in your knickers. A fourth chimed in, we know you're both fake. If you want to do not safe for work content, then do it. Hell, I do, but don't get in our space. Here's what I'd like to say. It's entirely possible that these are actually trans people. It would be funny if the reason why these trans women are attacking them is because they look too much like cis women. They pass too well. Imagine there are two trans women. One passes and one doesn't. So the one that doesn't accuses the other one of pretending to be trans. Could be where we're at. Either way, the hypocrisy is quite absurd. Despite these claims, it's unclear if the models, whose real names remain unknown, are cis or trans women. I wonder if they have the actual tweet here. While many took offense to the video, other ex-users mocked the trans commentators and accused them of being hypocritical. One comment said, you think women can't identify as trans? You're a transphobic bigot. Perhaps these are females who want to be male. They want to be guys. Now, hold on there a minute. Hold on. If a trans man, let's talk about this for a second. There have been many trans women who have beards and are very masculine looking. And they say, what you wear, how you look doesn't define your gender. And it's been accepted by the trans community. There are trans men who wear fake bulges. So these could be trans men, a couple boys, saying they're boys as if to imply that they're not identifying as women. These may be biological females who want to be trans men. And so there's nothing out of the ordinary for this. I suppose this shows the internal inconsistencies of gender ideology because everything they're presenting as is just them being trans men. But trans women are attacking them for it. One comment said, you think women can't identify as trans? Another added, it's ironic. Y'all want us to accept you for your mental illness. Who are you to say that you don't have mental health issues too? Wait, one of the women, someone else said that. The video prompted hundreds of responses from ex-users who claimed the visible, was actually a toy. Get it? They've done a bunch of these. A third user wrote, pretending to be women to grift while also being mad that women are grifting off that grift is so hypocritical. The lack of self-awareness here is embarrassing. Women pretending to be men, pretending to be women. Lily Ann's OnlyFans charges $9 a month for access to her account. She describes herself as your fave T-girl on her page. Okay, so in that regard, they are claiming to be trans women. Oh, the system is so busted. I got this article from Times of India. Times of India is funny because Google just loves them now. But I want to show you the original tweet. This person says, geez, seeing cis girls shove adult objects in their pants, pretending to be trans for money makes me so annoyed. My gender isn't your costume. What? Your gender? If you're a trans woman, your gender is woman, and they're women and their gender is women, then no, they can do whatever they want. What is this? Here we go. This is the original post. Just two boys being silly. Silly Lily, trans flag, and trans flags. The crazy thing about this is that these females, they do appear to be female. The funny thing I will add, though, is like, did these females think they looked manly and so they should try and pretend to be guys who are masquerading as women? But I digress. Either way, what's fascinating is the market on OnlyFans for men who are attracted to men on female hormones is, hey man, different strokes for different folks, but we are in wild times. I got to tell you that. Let me just stress. Two females trying to compete in the adult content space seem to have realized it is difficult competing in the vanilla space and decided maybe they should pretend to be guys so that gay guys who like feminine tops to tell you, man. Look, dude, hey, I'm not a fan of OnlyFans. I think OnlyFans is awful. I think it is degeneracy. It's bad for this country. Online porn has grown way out of control. Porn itself has is absolutely insane. I can understand why these things are bad for society as a whole. I'm fairly libertarian, however, so I mostly just say, do you, I guess. But I think there's a bigger story beyond just trans people being mad that there's women pretending to be trans and the irony and the absurdity of it. The strange reality is the market for whatever this is it's kind of funny. There are men who are attracted to men, but they want to have women's faces and boobs. Look, dude, whatever. The gender ideology stuff that we're seeing in this country has gotten to an absurd degree. And it's only gotten more absurd as of here, okay? You know, we've got the Publica. I saw this on the Publica. In what might just be the most insane story of the year, 2 female models have gone viral pretending to be transgender to sell porn. Trans activists are now accusing the women of appropriation for identifying as men who identify as women. Woman. Okay, so we have women identifying as men who identify as women. You know, idiocracy could not have predicted this. But I had an idea this weekend. As I was vacationing, we went to a couple places up the East Coast, and we saw, you see, there's a lot of these towns that are historic, and they'll have buildings that are like, this building was built in 1750, and like somebody lives in it. We have those here, actually, in West Virginia, and it's all over the East Coast. This building is 400 years old or whatever. And what's funny is you go to these areas that are residential, or they used to be, and it's all tourism now. So like I went to a lighthouse, and the lighthouse is a museum. It's just fascinating to me that there used to be a guy who lived there, and that guy would he'd walk in the morning, walk out of his lighthouse, and he'd have chickens and do whatever. And lighthouse keeper and his family lived there, and that was their job. That's all they did. Every day they wake up, they'd make sure they went and got food. They would probably farm a little bit, and they would spend most of their day hanging out, doing family stuff to survive because winter was coming. But they were the lighthouse keepers, and they got support and payment for maintaining that lighthouse because trade routes would come in and then they'd get paid. And it's funny. Now, these residential areas have turned into commercial tourist locations. I think it's kind of wild to see like 500 people just walking through what used to be some dude's house. And they're like, John Doe lived here. It's crazy because it makes me think about what the future is going to be. Idiocracy could not have predicted this stuff. My idea was like, in the future, we all live in gigantic concrete pods. They're like 8 feet by 8 feet. You plug into VR and you live in the digital world. And when you want to go outside, you go on vacation in New York City, where all the skyscrapers are just tourist attractions and arcades, and there's no real work going on anymore. And it's just like, wow, this building was built in 1973, and it's like the year 2200. And there's pictures of the people who used to work there. Nobody works there anymore. Because like you go to these towns, and what used to be a center of commerce and trade, it's all tourist stuff now. The old bank is a coffee shop. So it's like, what's going to happen to like the Federal Reserve of New York, the stock exchange? You're going to go to the stock exchange in 100 years, and it's going to be like, it's going to be a casino. And they're going to call it like, and there's going to be tourists all over the place. Like, wow, they used to do work here. That to me is crazy. The future is just nuts. Idiocracy could not predict. I'm going to wrap it up there, my friends. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, become a member at Timcast.com. We need your support. I don't know, man. I don't know where this country goes. I don't know what happens. Far be it from me to see the future. Follow me on X at Timcast. Become a member by going to Timcast.com and clicking join us. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you all tonight at 8 p.m. for Timcast IRL. Perhaps I'll have more updates on our lawsuit, the legal action we are pursuing, and where we go. So thank you all so much for your support. We'll see you all tonight. For everybody else, we'll grab a couple more super chats, and there's not that many more. Grab a couple more here. All right. Scrody Johnson says, Tim, who needs a rug when you have a nice hardwood floor? That's what my grandfather said about being bald. Great show. Indeed, indeed. Or whatever. I don't know. I suppose when you're younger, you get more concerned about it. Younger guys are really worried about it, but I don't know. Thomas Sherwin says, keep it the fight, Tim. Brandon says, heard the reason Dems support illegal immigration is because they are taxed more and think that offsets the benefits we give them. Obviously not true. Christian Bruce has found you around 2016, longtime fan. If they want to hit Trump with frivolous lawsuits, we can do it too. Go get them. Yours isn't frivolous. There are many, 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 many instances where I have been wronged, I would say, and lawsuits were contemplated. But for one reason or another, we decide against them. In this instance, I will stress again, I don't know that the Kamala Harris campaign could have lied about anything more egregious and extreme. And I mean that sincerely. To accuse someone of, like, they say the defamation, I'm trying to be careful here. Let me just say this. They say that defamation per se is to accuse someone of committing a crime, having an infectious disease, or, like abusing children, like things that are so shockingly offensive that it just damages their reputation. The Harris campaign has accused me. They have, I don't even know if accused, they've stated a false statement of fact, a lie, that I have called for was tantamount to the genocide of the Democratic Party, of people in this country who refuse Trump. They have threatened this statement is threatening my safety. I'm already hearing from people that their friends, Democrat friends and family, are shocked. I have Democrat friends and family. We book Democrats to come on this show and moderates. This is I don't know what more extreme there is than saying you want to, an individual has called for the execution without legal, I'm going to say this. They claimed that I said that Trump, without the legal authority, they said unchecked legal authority, that means without accountability or any real legal means to do so. That's what they're claiming. I have called for those who won't support Trump to be jailed and executed, which is a shocking, shocking statement. Look, if you were to accuse someone of wanting to blow up the earth, people are going to be, that's ridiculous. What is this? That's nonsense. The problem is where we currently are with political violence and extremism and statements made by members of Congress. To make a statement like that, which exists in the realm of real people calling for jailing and executing people are things that could happen. To say that of me, which is a lie, because I oppose the death penalty to an extreme degree, I just don't know what more extreme, I don't know how more extreme you could possibly be in your egregious fabrication and lie. It is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. All right, we'll grab this one from Omega. The trans community consistently confuses fetishes for gender. The Japanese have a word for a female who identifies as a female with male parts, and the trans community hates it. It's a fetish. Interesting. Interesting. Is that what you're saying? The women who are doing this stuff, it's like, I mean, I get it, All right, what do we have here? Brendan Taylor, we'll grab this last one. Speaking of wild and violent reactions, did you see the Tennessee Star release the full manifesto? I covered it. It's in the show. We did a segment on it, which will be, the clip will be put up in full at 1 p.m. because it is breaking news. My friends, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. If you would like to support our efforts and everything we do, go to timcast.com, click join us, become a member. That's it. Some have asked if we're going to launch, suggested we launch a fundraiser specifically for a lawsuit. I don't know that I want to do that. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. But I have to stress, this is a legal fight like this is serious, and it's serious. One person said we're grifting. I'm going to have to spend a lot of money on this to fight, to defend my reputation, to call out these lies and push back on this. It's expensive. That's that. If you want to support our efforts, go to timcast.com, click join us, become a member. What more can I say? I don't know where this goes. I don't know what happens. Lawyers have been engaged. They are currently doing all of the work. And I am telling you exactly where we are at. The moment we have filed the paperwork and we have it done, I will announce it and I will present it and do everything I can. There's only so much I can say. In normal circumstances, the legal disputes I've been involved in, we've not talked about. I've mentioned in the past, we were being sued. And then when those things have resolved, I kind of don't bring them up anymore for a variety of reasons. We deal with lawsuits. Big companies do. We're a small company, but we're a successful company with a lot of attention. In this instance, I have to push back on the psychotic lies. I have to try, but we have to hold them accountable for something so shockingly extreme and offensive. Follow me on X at Timcast and Instagram. More to come. We got a bunch of stuff we're working on today. It's going to be fun. We're here all week. So we'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we will see you all then.